Alright, check 1, 2. Well, if you guys are tuning in today, and you're not watching some mindless game show or watching the horrid news, I hope you're not watching the news, because that's been scary lately. But if you're pursuing one of your hobbies, we all have vast hobbies. Mine being automobiles, also my career, but I guess it started as a hobby, right? I guess some people have model trains. Some people have, painting. But I fell into cars, and I'm happy about that. But I recently started this channel, so if you found me, I appreciate you giving it a listen. Still working on my equipment, so this will be just a kind of me rambling podcast with a photo of the vehicle of the subject of our topic today, which is the fact that I bought a K Car, a 1986 Dodge Aries recently. I'm really psyched about it. It's a car that's getting much harder to find these days, as a lot of younger people and older people who are collectors or just car people that that maybe they're into hot rods or fast cars or newer cars or the muscle car era, but this is a highly overlooked era of American automobiles. And if you had met me, which I hope a lot of you will get to be familiar with me as my segments go on, but I tend to chase after the really off-the-wall stuff, the four doors, the Volkswagen things, the K cars, the station wagons, stuff like that. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy, family cars of the day, that kind of, cars that would exemplify the working man and women of the day that didn't have a lot of money and whatnot. That maybe it's just a car you took your driver's ed test and. Because when you go to local car shows, let's face it, there's just a lot of assholes, There's a lot of people that if it's not a shiny friggin', Chevelle Super Sport or Grand National or, a Shelby Mustang, it's not worth the time of day. And you notice probably at your local, I guess, quote, Cars and Coffee and stuff like that some guys won't even talk to you, You come up dressed like a regular Joe, and they think you don't have a car in the meet. And, hey, I had one like that, and they're like, yeah, sure you did, whatever. But, it is what it is, You go after what you like with most things in life. But, this one caught my eye. It was on Craigslist for, I think $1,000. And I always wanted one of these because, even me growing up, and I'm, just 30 now, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, everyone's grandma still had one of these, or mom or dad had one of these laying around that they drop you off in the mall in or something, And it wasn't necessarily an old car then, it was just kind of like an off-dated car a little bit, But everyone had one, they used them a lot. And then after a while, they did just drop off, like most things, like the GM A-bodies and Ford's Escorts and Tauruses, which were, I guess, had their share of problems, but for the most part were really pretty legendary workhorse, mid-sized vehicles, But the K Car's got an interesting story because it's widely recognized as the car that saved Chrysler, due to Lee Iacocca, who used to be with Ford, if I'm correct, in the earlier days, and he got hired by them to, like, hey, things are going awry here, what can you do for us? And that was the answer, and they had the K platform, and I believe it was the LeBaron, the Reliant, the Aries. They even had like K Car limousines, and I guess the Voyager and the Caravan were all on the K Car, and that's really cool, Again, you used to see Woody Voyagers, like the fake, heat gun, friggin' vinyl peel on paneling, picking up your friends at the mall and stuff. But you just love those cars with the big Panastar on the hood, and they've gained kind of like an arcade game, like Kalaga machine retro vibe to them, I would argue to say, with the younger generation. And again, I'm 30 now, so by some standards, the older crowd would call me a younger guy. But to the kids that are like teenagers in their early 20s, I feel old because they're into such different stuff. Even if they're car people, they're into different stuff. And when they see like a Crown Vic that we would have got secondhand from our parents, they're like in awe, They're like, wow, that's so cool. And I'm just like, this is another piece of shit, It's like it was like a piece of shit car, that you do a donut in and like drive it for a month and scrap it. But again, I think that's all part of the beautiful pyramid of, just the natural course of stuff. But it's cool to see, I love seeing that. I love that like younger people are getting into old cars in their own way. Maybe it's because of movies and TV that kind of still have time period set things, and they can just display like a Voyager wagon, a Voyager van or whatever, or an old Chevelle or Plymouth Satellite, makes they probably wouldn't even have heard of because they're not around anymore, like Plymouth, like Pontiac even, which I think has gone like 15 years now, if I'm correct. But aside the point, what I'm trying to get to today is I've been contemplating using this K Car for all of its, trying to capitalize on all its nostalgic goodness that like everyone across America at least can familiarize that someone they know or someone in their family or a friend had one of those. So my idea was to, I had a Chevy G20 van that kind of has crapped out on me. That was my work van. I had a little magnetic sign, Matt's Antique Auto Repair. And it served me well for a long time, but I don't want to put the money into it. It's shot, So my plan is to put those signs on the K Car and just kind of make it like a mascot gimmick, like I think it would be a great mascot to just drive around and, meet new clients. The most clients and customers I met wasn't at a car show, wasn't, at an expose or whatever. It was always at like the local gas station, me getting my iced coffee in the morning. And the guy would just like see the sign, and I used to have a sign painted actually on my van by hand, and it looked really rough, but I guess people admired the tenacity I had to just keep it on there. The balls, I guess. It looked terrible. But I would get a lot of clients. You just strike up a conversation. What year is that van? This, that, blah, blah, blah. So that's where, my idea with the K Car came in. And I'm excited. So I applied for the plates today. And luckily with New York State, you can do it online now. So I'm going to get new plates. And hopefully that all works out swimmingly. And I'll see what happens. It runs and drives. It's the 4-cylinder, I guess the 2.2 or 2.5 4-cylinder. And from what I've read, because I'm not like a K Car expert, but from what I read, that was the first year of the fuel-injected version. And before that, they were carbureted. There was even some talk of, at one time, they had like a Volkswagen designed engine in there. So it's got a cool history, But the K Car, definitely, you've seen them in movies. I mean, I'm pretty sure in Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy, there was one, or whatever the name of it, that's the name of the movie, right? I forget. It's been so friggin' long since I've been to a movie. Or watched one, rather, or an old retro movie. But, I don't know, I feel like it's just superhero movies today. Like, it's fucking tiring, I mean, I'm not like a culture connoisseur, but, not to ramble off topic, but really it's like, I don't know, I kind of gave up on, like, movies and game shows and just TV, like, I don't know if anyone else feels the same way about that, but I can't really watch TV anymore. It's strange. Um, because I'm working so much, which is part of the reason. But when I get home, I like to watch meaningful things. I like to watch mystery videos. I enjoy a lot of these mystery video guys that like narrate spoken word stories, like the guy Mr. Ballin who like really shot up. He's really awesome. I love that story, of his success and his journey. I enjoy some of the bigger podcasts, obviously. I love Joe Rogan's eclectic variety of people he has on, and the way he could kind of make people relaxed. I enjoy the Tim Dillon show. He's a local Long Island guy too, so that's cool, and he's just funny as heck. So I try to go after meaningful content that maybe I set out to, find a video on how to put together an IKEA friggin' desk, and I end up watching something about, Marxism or something. And I think that's the beauty of YouTube, and I guess you call it like the YouTube rabbit hole, But I enjoy that spontaneity of the whole way it's designed, and I'm amazed when I guess it's mostly older people watching TV, but I'm amazed when I leave my room or come back from work, or not that I'm in my room for the whole day or whatever, but if I'm watching something that come out, people are just watching TV for hours and renting movies, and I'm just there's so much good stuff that are you could binge for 15 minutes and then hop on another train to some other world of discussion and read comments, and that's the beauty of YouTube and that kind of platform. I definitely think that's the way the world's going, Not to digress too much into the situation, but that's just kind of my take on it. But I think most people would agree with me on that. But it's a great place for cars, too. I mean, really. I can't tell you, even in my own repair shop where I work, my regular job, where I do a lot of electrical work, do a lot of stereos, do a lot of headlight rewiring, a lot of 12 and 6 volt conversions for 50s cars, just everything under the sun. And we do get a lot of new cars on, I'll be honest, 2000s BMWs, 90s BMWs. When I first started out, there was a lot of hard panels to, I didn't know you needed those two tiny Allen keys to take a stereo out of a BMW. And thankfully, some things on YouTube, there's one guy in Germany that friggin' shows you how to do it, And if you kind of understand what he's saying or just pointing to, you can make it happen and learn. So that's cool. And I think YouTube's a blessing in that aspect, All the censorship stuff kind of scares me these days, where that's all going. But again, it's gotta just play it by ear, keep putting out content, whether you do gaming or you're into finance or history or mystery. So you keep doing your thing, That's all you can do. But yeah, I just want to make a little 15-odd minute video about my plans for this car. I'll definitely make a better video with film of this vehicle. It's just been a crazy week, and I've been working so much. It's been horrible weather outside. It's, February on windy Long Island, so you could imagine just how treacherous that is. But I'm definitely gonna, get on top of that soon. So stay tuned, and if you semi or fully enjoyed this content, throw me a quick like and a subscription, and it would in turn give me much motivation to keep making content and taking days off from work. And we all hate work. Well, we don't all hate work, but I hate some times that I have to go to work. But that's aside the point. Everyone out there stay safe and healthy, as much as you may be tired of hearing that. just stay safe in general, not even related to a virus. But stay safe from that too, whatever, it's all good. Thank you for listening, folks. This is Matt. This is the Matt's Antique Auto Classic Car Podcast that I am starting out recently. You have a wonderful evening or morning or afternoon, whatever time it may be where you're living at. And I will see you next time.